Hey, how you doing? I just want to talk about the real deal, what's going on. Everyone's being taken over by monsterhood. Monsterhood is the new world order, part of the agenda that they've brought out decades ago. And everyone, there's really nobody left in the program, just a few people in the world, and we're all separated from each other. And we're fighting, most people are fighting a battle that you've never seen before. We're being tortured, we're being raped, we're being sodomized. Everything physically. We feel physically ill. We're being attacked constantly, and that's because we're like alive. We're real people. We're not brainwashed by society and things. We have our own consciousness, and we're not zombies, mind control zombies that go around torturing people and raping people and things like that. And everyone else is a fucking predator, and they just go around torturing people and things like that, humiliating people on the constant daily. And everywhere you go, they can't wait till zero. There's a big countdown till zero and things, and the monsters are gonna all break loose and wreak havoc on the world and destroy the world and things like that. And people aren't who they say they are. Like a lot, a monster is mind controlled. People are controlled through monsterhood, and basically inside people is a monster laying dormant, and that's basically waiting to attack people and come out and you know basically take over the individual and destroy everything that's in its path. And that's basically what they do. They don't stop attacking things till they die. They don't stop attacking things till they're destroyed themselves. And because it's basically a program that's designed to self-destruct in the monsterhood, basically there's a big countdown, and they're just going to self-destruct and but basically take over the world, destroy the world. And there's not going to be anyone left and things in the world, and that, because what's going to happen to us is going to be so disastrous. And things like, we're looking at wars, pandemics, all kinds of things on top of monsterhood and things that they're planning on getting rid of the masses of people. And they won't just do it through the zombie apocalypse. It won't just be an all-out zombie war. Basically, it's going to be like they're going to explode people, they're going to blow people up, they're going to make people sick, they're going to start all types of wars and rumors and things like that, as is written in the Bible. And we're already facing those type of catastrophic events. We don't have much longer before they decide to destroy us all, and in the process of trying to make peace with people and things. But they can't. Gangstalkers, monsters, can't make peace with people. They don't even know how to make peace with themselves. They're constantly battling demons, and it's on the daily grind. Everybody's battling demons daily and things like that. And that's why you got to believe in God and things, and to carry you through, because it's a spiritual war that we're fighting as well. It's the biggest spiritual battle in human history, in thousands of years, basically. And we don't have much longer before the end days come and things. And we're all being judged by God, by the Most High, and basically we'll all be like dealt with in God's way, in God's hands and things like that. And there's not much we can do about the world now that we see, but all you can do is just be a good person for yourself and things like that. You just got to have courage. You've got to you got to face the demons out there in the world. And that, you can hear all the subliminals attacking you and things like that. People using like subliminal messages and things like that in the monsterhood, where you don't know monsterhood, you don't know this, you don't know that. They'll always like try to tell you you don't know shit when you clearly know what the hell's going on in the world. You just only have to look around you and you can see everyone's possessed and things like that. You know, um, if you've been asleep all these years, you're going to be rudely awakened. You're going to be rudely awakened by the world. They are going to treat you very harshly if you're not aware of what's really going on in the world and things. They're out to get everybody. They're out to get everybody in the Monsterhood program. They don't want to leave no man behind. And basically, they're using people as puppets. They're using people as pawns and things like that in their sick game to go out to people's houses and torture them, to go out to people's homes and rape people and sodomize people and things. They're really sick, disgusting people. I've got two people in the room with me now. One is a boy, one is a girl, and they blame me. They say that I'm their father and things like that. I'm part of a fatherhood. I have children and everything like that. Throughout 23 years of my torture and things like that. I've got kids. I've got invisible children, all types of things like that that I'm unaware of and all that. And, they put this hell upon me and things, and they rape me, they torture me and that all the time and stuff, and make me sick, give me pains in my bodies. And, they don't let me go to the toilet sometimes. They, they always like, they always like doing something physically and spiritually to me. They're constantly gaslighting me, basically saying you don't know this, you don't know that, in every sentence, in every word, and basically you don't know this, you don't know that. And it's part of the Gangstalking method. Like if I say the sky's blue, the monsters will say you won't know blue, you know. And they basically try to gaslight everything you say if I can explain it that way, you know. If I say how you going today, they'll say you won't know how you're going today, you know. They'll just be like always gaslighting you that way and that all the time. Like they'll just basically attack you in all kinds of ways like that because you're not a monster, because you're not a monster and things like that, you know. You got to know what's going on with these gang stalkers. You become like psychically connected to people and things like that, if I can explain it that way. Like most people you see are like telepathic and things like that, and they're psychically connected to your mind and things, and they can read everything and hear everything you're saying and doing, and they know everything that you're saying, you know. People across the road that live across the road from you, they can hear everything you say and do and things like that. They're aware of what you're doing and stuff, and they can hear your mind, talking, chattering away. They can hear you chattering away and things like that. And because people are telepathic and they're psychically connected and things, and everyone's mind's been hacked by the gang stalking program and things, COINTELPRO, Stasi and things like that. That's been for so many decades. It's been out in the world, and they've just changed it to different names and things. And basically, they're attacking every individual on the planet, and they've turned people into zombies and things like that. People are like zombies, you know that. Like they're basically mind controlled by the New World Order and things like that. And they'll sell out their own family members, they'll sell out their friends, everybody they know basically gets sold out because of the program. It's because of the program that they've utilised on humanity and things like that. These people are cruel, cunning, vicious, malicious. They're just sinister, they're evil, twisted, demented people. You understand? And they have a very dark, wicked agenda on the world and things like that. You understand? It's not a positive. It's not going to, this world isn't going to end in a positive way. Do you understand? At all. It's going to be hell fury, hellfire, and fire and brimstone and all kinds of things like that. You know, in the Bible it says it's not going to end well for like people, for anyone, for that matter. You know, like billions of people are going to die. You understand? And we're facing judgment from God. We're facing judgment from the devil. You know, we're being attacked from all angles pretty much. You know, all we are just pawns in the game of good and evil. We're just pawns in a game of just our fate of good and evil and karma and things like that, what we do in the world and stuff like that. And humanity is fucked up in a big way. You know, we pollute the earth, we feed people poison, you know, we put preservatives in everything like that. We let people starve, little children get sex trafficked, like all types of like scenarios like that, you know. The half the world is on drugs, on medication and things like that, you know. Everyone's being like fooled by the New World Order. Everyone's being tricked by the New World Order. Humanity used to live in such a natural way before, you know, and it's nothing. Everything you see is artificial. Artificial, it's not real, you know. Most people, all the food we're eating's fake. They spray chemtrails in the sky, all kinds of things like that. It's all over us. Like the chemicals and the fucking, all the shit that they put out is in us. It's in our bodies. It's all over the place and things like that. You know, they're making us sick on purpose. They're making people ill and sick on purpose, and they're attacking people all over the world, for that matter, on purpose. So to depopulate the planet. They want to depopulate the planet and get rid of people and things like that. And they do it softly, you know what I mean? They try to kill people gently, you know, without people knowing. They try to make it look natural, like it's a natural disaster or something like that. You know, when it's being planned, it's being planned strategically by secret societies and things like that to destroy certain places and parts of the world and things like that in a systematic way. In a systematic way that ends everything eventually, that everything all ends eventually, you know. They drop the bomb, they unleash a zombie apocalypse on people, all kinds of things like that. They have a very wicked, dark agenda, you know. They want to drag everybody to hell. They want to drag everybody to hell with them and try to trap everybody in this place. You understand? They don't want you to be free. They don't want you to be with the Most High and things. You know, they don't want you to be with the angels and be in love and feel beauty and feel love and like and respect and compassion and things like that, which none of these gang stalkers have. They don't have those qualities that heaven, that beauty has, the true beauty, you know, is heaven, you know, true beauty. But these gang stalkers, they're so ugly, they're so evil, they're so vicious, these people, you know what I mean? They're a bunch of snakes, gang stalkers, you know, and they have a wicked, dark agenda. You know, they want to put a ton on you. They want to put a ton on you. They want to have you for lunch. They want to chop your head off, you know. Look what you did to the fatherhood, things like that. Look what you did to the sisterhood. You know, they blame you for a lot of things. They blame you for a lot of things, you know, and you're not aware of what they're accusing you of and things like that. They're blaming you of doing something to the children, all kinds of things like that, you understand? And they're setting people up all over the world, you know what I mean? And, you know, they try to accuse you of being Nathan, the rock spider and things like that, all types of things. You know, there's just so much. The list goes on, you know, and they basically hack your brain and things like that, and people are telepathic and things like that, and they can read your mind very clearly, what you're saying, what you're doing, and they try to predict everything that you're saying and doing and stuff like that. It's predictive programming and that they use on people. You understand? And everyone can only make a certain amount of choices in the world and things like that. In our physical bodies, we can only make so many choices in the world and things like that, where we can go, what we can do, where we can live, which what kind of girlfriend can you have, what kind of like children can you have, and things like that. These things are just all choices that are all predicted, basically. They're all predictive programming choices that you have in life and things like that. You know, basically, from the time you're born, they're planning out your whole life. Basically, they know what you're doing, they know where you're going and things like that from the very start, and basically they subject you to all the systems and things like that that you have to abide by and things like that. And yeah, we're all under attack. We're all under attack every day on the daily grind. They want to push you to your limits and things. And believe me, there's nobody left. Most people that you see, they're all zombies. You understand? They're all like undead zombies. They're all like mind controlled fucking zombies that are plotting to kill you, that are plotting to take over the world, destroy everyone in it. You understand? They only want to know how long it takes you. They only want to know how long it's taking you and things like that before before everything ends and things, the world ends and stuff like that. Where I live, I'm the only one left. You know what I mean? And people don't want to know me. People don't want to know me because I'm not a monster. Things like that. And it's just very difficult to communicate with people and get along with people and things like that, because they're so like brainwashed. They're so fucking brainwashed and things, and they just have a wicked dark agenda, you know. Most people that you see, they're all bad, they're all like sinister, evil and twisted and things like that. They don't really have a positive, loving soul, compassionate soul for people and things like that. A lot of people have turned cold, you know, just like it says in the Bible, the hearts of men have waxed cold and things like that, which is very true. We're living in a very cruel, harsh world now. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about monsterhood and things. I haven't been on here for a while. I just want to make people aware that people are monsters and they're zombies and things like that. And, they're just pretending to be somebody they're not and things. You know, People don't have the best intentions these days for people. They don't have the best intentions for people. They only wish bad things upon people. And unfortunately, that's the world we're living in, you know. And we've got to watch out who we trust and who we can talk to and things like that. You're pretty much on your own. You have to be a self-sufficient person and things like that. You know, you got to fight the devil. You got to fight the devils with discernment, with your spirit and things like that. That's the only way you can do it. You know, don't fall victim. Don't become brainwashed like these fucking people. You understand? With no morals, with no standards and things like that. You know, you have to have morals and standards. It's what makes you human and things like that. Not It separates us from the animals and things like that. Having morals and compassion and things like that, it separates us from the animals. And with that being said, take care.